Hey guys, this is David Vos, and I just want to let you guys know that this video that you're going to watch is not intended to be a true story. This is just a story. Or is it? I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi. Well, my name is David, and I've got a story that I want to tell you. I know this story is going to sound amazing, and I know that you guys aren't going to believe me because, you know, there's just so many things that you've never been told. You know, I mean, even my people, they haven't told us either. I don't know how I woke up. I guess something happened. Maybe they didn't expect it. Or maybe this has all been planned. I don't know. Perhaps I was supposed to wake up. Perhaps there are no coincidences. Perhaps the world is not being destroyed before our eyes. I know my planet was. It's not gone yet, but it's almost gone, you know. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of strange. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, in your Earth history, they call it Nibiru. And that's where I'm from originally. I know you're probably, going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to tell you some things anyway. I think you need to know. Of course, I think some of you on a subconscious level are going to know that what I'm saying is true. You know you're not from this planet, a lot of you. Yeah, when I talk about it, it actually makes me feel bad, but on the other hand, it doesn't, because I want to live. You know, my planet wanted to live. We don't want to die. You can't let people die. It's like if you're out floating on an ocean and there's one boat, and the boat belongs to one family, and you say, well, sorry, I don't want to inconvenience you. We'll just float around out here and die. No, the right thing to do is to stop and pick up this other family and save their lives, and that's really what Earth is. It was a ship that was sailing by us, and we saved ourselves. And if you don't believe me, then just go watch the movie Superman, because we've been running your planet for a long time. We're trying to tell you who we are and what's going on, but yeah, we're getting a lot of flack. But, that's what the whole movie's about, Superman movie, with that serpent on his chest. That represents wisdom. And Superman was from another planet, and his father was El, the father of the gods. Well, Superman's planet wasn't necessarily helpful to Earth, even though Superman was a friend. But if you watch that movie, you'll find out there were some people that came from his home planet that came to Earth to try and destroy this planet. That's what Krypton really wanted to do with Earth. They wanted to destroy him. See, but there was just one guy that knew what was about to happen. Their planet was dying. They were losing their planet. They had to do something. And so most of the people on Krypton, they just came here to Earth to take the resources. And see, there was one man who sent his son here to save not only his planet, but ours, because he had the foreknowledge and the ability to understand that neither one of our planets could survive unless something was done, because he knew that his planet had more advanced technology and they would just come here and wipe us out. So he sent Superman down here basically to protect this planet. But what you don't know is what his people were doing to the planet. You never see that part at the movies. They were somewhere mining the earth, taking all of the resources and shipping it back to Krypton. You know, Superman, the only reason he was here was to protect the human race the best he could from these criminals. People who didn't care about humans. They only cared about their planet. And you can understand why that might be. But it's true. Remember the movie Avatar? Yeah, in that movie it showed you what it would be like to be us. Right? If you Earthlings could understand what it was like to be us, see, that's why we came here and plundered you and enslaved you, and you don't understand and you say we're evil, but we're trying to explain to you why we had to do it. We had to do it. Okay? Remember the movie Avatar? Well, it was you Earthlings in that case that finally got technologically advanced and took your technology to some other planet and began to plunder it and take all the resources. But you see, in that movie, what you found out was that that was a sacred planet. And that tree was a sacred tree. And the people that lived on that planet were sacred individuals. But there's a mystery there that we're trying to tell you. There's something we're trying to let you understand. If you just watch the movies, you'll understand, friends. The movie's called Avatar. And if you'll remember, there were individuals on the Earthling planet that went in and inhabited their bodies. They were really not there to get resources. I know your ancient records, the Sumerian tablets, say that we came here to take your gold. And we did in the beginning. But what we found out over a period of a few thousand years was that we could not save our planet, even with all the gold that was on your planet. So in the beginning, we were just taking all of your resources and just shipping it back to Nibiru. But it got to the point where we gave up. We couldn't save our planet. Most of the people that's on our planet had to leave. And of course, we had to use you as an avatar. That's what that's all about. Most of the people that's on this planet now is not Earthlings. It's us. Yeah. You're my brothers and sisters, but you don't know it. They've pretty much not allowed us to understand who we are, because if we knew that we were not from this planet, we might not have wanted to participate in the carnage. See, they couldn't really let us know what was going on. There were a lot of reasons why. They couldn't let the Earthlings know, nor could they really allow us Nibirians to know what we were doing. So they made the Earthlings like avatars, and we're down here, you know, using their genetics to build a home, because we don't have a home anymore. I'm sorry, Earthlings, but we needed to live. And we gave you a gift, but you don't know that we gave you the gift. And if I told you the gift that we gave you, you probably wouldn't even appreciate it. You see? Because when we came here, you had no technology. You had no intelligence, no advanced civilization. We gave that to you. We gave it all to you. Some would say we made you our slaves, and we did. We colonized you, but that's only been in the last couple of 100 years. And that's because for the first few thousand years, we were just here to take your resources. We didn't want to come here. We didn't really want to live here. Yeah, there was a few civilizations over in Europe. But at some point, it started looking as though we were not going to be able to save our planet. So we came down here in droves, and that's where we began to do the colonization and the enslavement. But you see, we had to do it. And we couldn't let you know what was going on. Even the Nibirians that were here, they didn't know. We manipulated the genetic body, the avatar, so that they could not know why they were here. But we put a program in the DNA. It's all there. You don't have a choice. Don't you understand? We've got technology that is so far beyond anything you've ever imagined. We are the gods. Don't you get it? Oh, yes, of course there's a God higher than us, higher than that if you want to really know the truth. But he's got it all under control. He would not even allow us to do this if it weren't the right thing to do. Don't you see there's always a reason why everything happens? There's a reason why the coyote howls at night. There's a reason why there's little cockroaches in your cupboards, even though it's a very discomforting thing. There's a reason that mosquitoes bite you in the night. There's a reason for flies that make maggots in your dead carcasses. But that's the part that you don't want to believe. That's the part you don't understand. You've got to have maggots. You've got to have war. Because you can't just go in and take over a planet without war. But it's gotten out of hand. You avatars, you don't understand. You don't control anything. And it's gotten out of hand. I told my brothers, I told them that this was not the way. There's something that's gone wrong, and nobody, not even those that are awake, that are responsible for this, we don't even know what's about to happen. Because it's out of our control. It's like, you set a controlled fire and it gets going and it just sort of gets out of hand. And for a period of time, you don't know if it's just going to burn down your village. Only in this case, it could just literally burn down the whole planet. And it's not just bad for you, okay? It's bad for everybody. Our planet's almost gone. We can't go back. All right, this is why we're here. Well, I told you that we gave you a gift, and we did. And I think somehow in the end, there's got to be a reason why we did this. I know there has to be. You see, because we needed another planet, because ours was dying, we had to use yours. But we also had to give you something. We couldn't just take it. We weren't allowed. Yeah, that was your God, and ours, although we had forgotten about him. And we got down on our knees and we cried. Okay, we cried on our knees because we were brought down. And I suppose that's the whole point of all of this. You see, while you were being enslaved and colonized, we were being taught a good lesson, because now we're down here on this dump of a planet like Earth. We had it made, man. You have no idea what it was like living in that beautiful paradise home called Nibiru. We had everything. But it's gone. It's gone because of our pride. Because of our pride, we fell. That's what he told us. He said that we were being punished because our entire planet had gotten too cocky. We thought we were God. We didn't even remember who the hell we were. You see, I guess that's what kind of happens to a planet after a few billion years. Once you finally get to a place where you're so damn pathetic that you can't even stand to look at yourself in a mirror. You're tired of just doing the same old thing, seeing the same old sunsets and hearing the same old song. And you just want to do something. You just want to run through the forest and set it on fire or something. And that's what a bunch of our people did. And I'm sorry, but we didn't have a choice. But in some ways, I don't know if we could have done anything differently. I look back and I think about what has happened. What could we do? Just fly off into space and die? We had to do something. Well, it was all in the cards. It was part of the plan. And our God, he showed himself, and he came to this planet we now call Earth, which is now our home as it is yours. And he entered into an avatar like we all did. But he showed us what we were supposed to do. He said that we could stay here, but we had to love. We were getting a home, and you were getting eternal life. Because we advanced your civilization 1 million years into the future. We gave you guys the gift of immortality, and that's a pretty good deal. Yes, you were enslaved. Yes, you were beaten. Yes, you were lied to. Of course. Do you think if we'd have told you the truth that we were taking all of your resources and coming here with millions of our brothers to take your land, that you would have just laid down? No. And the pain that I feel, not only for me and my brothers, but for you, it's real. And I am sorry. We were the gods. We wanted to learn something and be a part of something that we had never been a part of before. We thought there was something here we could learn. And we did learn. We learned a lot from you. And you learned a lot from us. Yes, we were the heroes, the men of old, but we don't feel like heroes anymore. Something seems to be going wrong. Everything we did to our planet that made it die, as it's gasping for its last breath of air up there floating around Sirius, it's now happening here. I told them not to do it, but they just wouldn't stop. They kept raping your planet and destroying everything in their path. They had no common sense. And so we tried to stop them. I want you to know we tried. We had wars in the heavens above. We had wars on the earth. We had wars at sea, and we couldn't stop them. And we couldn't understand, and we cried out to our God, and it seemed like nothing could stop them. And the darkness began to cover this entire land, and then we knew that maybe we had made a mistake in the beginning. And why did we come here? Did we think somehow we could pull this off? We had an infectious disease. We were dying. We should have just left you alone so you could live in peace. But no, we had a plan. And here it is. And our plan, it failed miserably, and Superman couldn't save you. We always believed that somehow, before it was too late, we would make the transformation. That the two races, the Nibirians and the Earthlings, could come together in unity and share this planet. And of course, in the beginning, we thought that with your resources, we could somehow restore our planet, but it was a losing battle. We didn't want to come here. We had no intentions. But you see, we couldn't live forever anymore. Our bodies were dying. We had once been like Earth, long ago, probably over 1 million years ago. Over 1 million years ago, our planet was much like yours. We reached a point where we were virtually immortal, although we weren't really immortal, because that would literally mean we could live forever, and we couldn't. You know, we actually thought we were going to, but it turned out that there was an end to our creation. It wasn't forever. Well, that's elementary, right? Because even the stars eventually burn out, right? And what are you going to do? We had reached this pinnacle, and we found that it kind of coincided. It was something that we could never have learned through math or science, but it was just something we had to find out for ourselves. That at some point, after you live like 1 million years, you really get bored. Right about the time that your planet begins to die, you know, your spirit starts to long for something different, something new. You know, you've tried everything. You know, you've tried everything. It turns out that there was a time when what's happening here on your planet was happening there on ours. So we had to find a way to preserve the species and, of course, our knowledge, because our knowledge is something that's got to continue. We had learned so much. You couldn't just forget all of that. You know, it's for the betterment of the universe. Of course, we had learned something precious. It was as precious as gold, and I guess in some ways The stories on your planet of how we came here to take your gold was really just kind of an illustration, maybe a parable. Just like the first snakes that we found on your planet, and we started using that as a simple illustration of this innocent nature that you had here. That earthly nature that existed here on this planet was something that we didn't have on our planet, hadn't had for a long time. But it was important. It was important to keep that snake. And you know, the snake was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. And our knowledge and our understanding and all that we'd gone through for millions of years was important. We couldn't just forget about it. You see, there was a divine destiny. And I'm sure that it's probably happened 1,000,000 times before, or 1,000,000,000 times, or 1,000,000,000 times before on various planets and solar systems and galaxies throughout the universe. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows these things. But we spent 1,000,000 years trying to learn these things. And what we learned was astronomical, amazing. But then we had to forget it. We had to forget it. It would never be completely forgotten. It would be pushed down into the recesses of our DNA and then transferred to this planet. It wouldn't take as long to remember all of this great wisdom once we got it down here and we began to use your planet as avatars for our spirit. Because you see, our DNA was dying. So we had to take and download all of our memories into your bodies. There was a time when we were just living inside of you, you know, and you didn't even know that we were there because your intelligence level hadn't actually reached the point where you could do anything about it. Even on that level, I hope you can see, we didn't want to die, and I don't think anybody would want to die, and, you know, but it wasn't just that, friends. I mean, this is so much more. I don't know how to explain this to you. You know, I think it's time that somebody just told you guys what's going on. But we had to come here because all of this knowledge that we had, you can't just throw it away, you know. Besides, the very thing that we were was your gift. Because you and your planet, we're going to give you everlasting life. You're going to become like gods. I know it was hard. I know. And it was hard for us. We spent thousands of years just being dormant. We weren't even allowed to live. We were just asleep in the boat, you know. And you guys were just running around, not even aware of our presence, but we were within you. And we would not allow our dark brothers to do you any harm because we appeared before the face of our Father in heaven. And we stood and we were your advocates. They were told not to take control. They were allowed only to observe, but they took control. And many of them did take control. And they set up religions to deceive you and governments to control you. We tried to stop them, and we tried to warn you, and we would send prophets, and we were the messengers. We came and we were there, and though we were with you and in you and a part of you, we never took control because we knew this was not our planet. We knew that it was not our place. But our dark brothers, they have tried to bring you down, and I am sorry. But we were there with you. We didn't control you, but we were there. And all you got to do is call out to us, and we will help you. And we will not let that deceiver deceive you. Even though now it has gotten to a point that I don't know if there's any way to stop him. He's out of control. He's controlling all of your leaders. He's got possession of their minds. He's got control of your government. But you guys, you can stop it. Because there are more of us than there are of them. We could bring this to an end right now. But you see, you guys have control. And so it's up to you, earthlings. Come on. You just got to give us the word. You You are the one who is really responsible for this world. They don't have the authority for what they're doing. And your messengers always appear before the face of our Father in heaven. And all you got to do is ask us, and we'll be there. And we'll give you back control of your planet. And the only thing we ask in return is that you wake up and hear us and listen. We're fighting a battle, a spiritual battle. The Dark Lord has gotten control of everything. And we will teach you all things that you need to know. And through your word and the authority that you have on this planet, if you will let us, we will take them out. And I have faith in you. And I love you. This is coming from an awakened Nibirian. I have joined forces with my earthling counterpart, and we are sharing this body, and we're awake. And we help each other. And what we have taken from you, we have given you more in return. And you can receive eternal life and take back your planet. And I can see the dark clouds gathering on the horizon, friends, and I can see the battle awaits, but I know in my heart, and I believe in you, and we are with you. Let's do it together. I know we can. Well, I guess that's all I wanted to say.